What it do, guys? Finally got a proper microphone. Welcome to my RP Observations in Media. And today's specimen is Pretty Woman. It's the classic Cinderella-esque story of a high-status male choosing a female of lower economic status and elevating her. The come-up. But instead of her being a farmhand like Cinderella, she's a hooker. This one has some good illustrations. You will see once Julia Roberts and people in general status is elevated, it's not easily reversible. So let's dive in. Ah, I see what you did there.
There's some whores in this house.
No, you just can't drive a stick. Go practice.
You're gonna load us. We're gonna start right now.
You're joking.
Yeah, you must be joking if you think I'm going to borrow a car and then let some unknown person drive the car and she's a hooker. No. Oh, well, she seems to know a lot about cars and she's already in the passenger seat, so it makes sense, right? Okay, I'm a plumber, but I read a lot of books on psychology and spent a lot of time around kids. And there's no one else around, so using that same logic, it just makes sense to let me babysit your kids while you're away, right? No.
Oh, yeah, Rachel. What? Yeah, this is the summer on Sunday. Yeah. Well, Vivian and me, we work Bob Hope. We work the Ritz Brothers, we work Fred Astaire, we work all the way on Alex Fitzgerald. Forgive me for saying the rest. Don't go rest of my money. All that. Mr. Wilson. Mr. Williams, where you belong.
This is kind of a strange casting situation. Girls like them, hooking on the side of the road, would not be doing it for long. Look at them. If you put a for sale sign on a used Ferrari for a few $1,000s, someone's going to buy it. Quick. Because people like to drive Ferraris. Unless all roads are already littered with Ferraris, then people are going to want to buy them. Same way with men wanting attractive, fertile, young women. So I guess the reversal of this strange casting situation would be like Jeff Bezos as a hobo.
Wow.
It's all right.
Holy shit.
You're gonna be fine. Okay.
Okay, no. In real life, she would not be impressed or embarrassed by this place because she's already been there a million times. I see what the director is trying to do. He's trying to say something like her social economic status is so low, this is all new for her, and people inside would be shocked to see her. But in reality, the doorman probably knows her on the first name basis. If you're a young, pretty girl, you don't need money to end up in these places. You get access, just like she's getting access right now, by some rich dude trying to fuck. That older couple that she walked by, she probably fucked them. Or look at that guy. Oh, I see this girl's back in here again. Haven't seen her in my room since last week.
All right. Let's get one of these on.
Yeah. Why don't we just talk for a minute, okay?
This guy's lonely.
I'm on an hourly rate. Can we just move on?
Somehow I'm sensing that this crime problem is a major issue. Let me just get through that right now.
Great, let's get started.
How much for the entire night?
Stay here. We couldn't afford it.
Try me.
Now things are making sense. The divorced wife, the ex-girlfriend. He's leading with his wallet. Okay, think about it this way. If I'm a girl and I wear slutty clothing and post sexy time pictures on the internet, what kind of men am I going to attract? Men who just want to have sex. If there is a man who thought she might be relationship potential, but sees you posting sexy time on Instagram, he's going to change his mind and recategorize you, put you into a different bucket that says sex only. Of course, he'll still say he wants a relationship, get the sex, and then bounce later, but that's what happens when you lead with your body. As a man, when you lead with your money, girls are going to think that this man is a trick or a sugar daddy. She's going to think to herself, I wonder how deep this well will go. And she's going to change her mind and recategorize you. It's not bad to have money. You should demonstrate that you have money. I mean, he already did. He's staying at that penthouse. But don't get into an argument to prove it. It's almost better to go in the opposite direction and joke that you're broke. The extreme contrast in exaggeration makes it funny. Dry humor. So, after she said you can't afford it, a better move would have been for him to sit back, sip some champagne, and say, you're right. I hope you accept food stamps.
Vivian, I have a business proposition for you. I'm going to be in town until Sunday. I'd like you to spend the week with me. Guess I'd like to hire you as an employee. Would you consider spending the week with me?
You're a rich, good-looking guy. You can get a million girls free.
I want a professional.
Holy shit!
Wait a second. This is the same plot as 50 Shades of Grey, but Grey had a fetish that a lot of girls already like. It's not a romance. It's a fantasy. If you don't believe me, I've got a new plot for a movie that I just thought of. I'm an 18-year-old World of Warcraft player who lives in my mom's basement. I don't have a job, but I like to smoke weed. I don't really have any other passions in my life. But one day, a hot supermodel that I run into at the grocery store saw me, and now her and all of her friends want to bang me at the same time every single day. Does that sound like a fantasy or delusion? Okay, now the reversal. I'm a top-level venture capitalist. There might be 50 guys in the world who are at my level. People answer to me. I have reasonable looks. I'm not a weirdo. I play piano. I could have many women every day until the rest of my days if I wanted to. But for some reason, I want this hooker or this plain Jane, and I want to give her all of my resources and attention. Still sound realistic?
Where are you? Oh man, are you ready for this? The guy? The Lotus? I am in his hotel room in Beverly Hills, the penthouse. His bathroom is bigger than the Blue Banana. Do I have to hear this? Kid, he wants me to stay the whole week. And you know what he's gonna give me?
Yes, you'll never guess. $3,000.
Bullshit!
Bullshit, indeed. They actually joke about the plot here.
Something conservative.
Yes.
How much is this?
How much is this, Marie?
It's very expensive.
It's very expensive. You're obviously in the wrong place.
Please leave. No, that's not all. That's what I was trying to do. I tried to go and get a dress on Rodeo Drive today, and the women wouldn't help me. And I have all this money now and no dress. I don't expect you to help me, but I have all of this, okay? I have to buy a dress for dinner tonight, and nobody will help me.
Cue the violins. If I get thugged out like a drug dealer, people are going to look at me weird when I go to the Lamborghini dealership. Actually, maybe not. But the point is that stereotypes happen. What you didn't see was all the other times when someone who looked broke came to the store and actually was broke. I can't see too many stores refusing service just because of the way that you look. If anything, this is just going to make them verify your method of payment a little bit sooner. But I think in the movie it actually mentions something like this. Like, I think the main guy says something like, stores are loyal to credit cards, not people.
My grandfather believes the man who created a company should control its destiny.
Where's the salad?
The salad comes at the end of the meal.
That's the fork I know.
Linear, but another way, between your republics.
You're not that dumb. Nor would any other female be that kind of dumb in that situation. Her acting like, how do I act civil? Is kind of like a guy acting like, how do I throw a punch?
Wake up, time to shop.
If you have any trouble using this card, have them call the hotel. All right? More shopping.
Still using that same analogy from me living in my mom's basement with the supermodel, it would kind of be like her waking me up and saying, honey, I need you to wake up. I need you to fuck me and all my friends again.
Pretty woman walking down the street. Pretty woman stop a while. Pretty woman talk a while. Pretty woman give us love to me.
This is it. This is the dream. At some point, I'm going to get my money right. Some man, some Prince Charming, some billionaire is going to sweep me off my feet, and I'm going to be in Julia Roberts' shoe, and he's going to take me for a magic carpet ride. That's the dream. Not saying that it's impossible. It very well can happen. The question you have to ask yourself is, how many guys are like that, right? And then, how many girls have the exact same dream that I do? So, we've got a little bit of a supply and demand situation.
Pardon me, Mr. Lewis. I'm Mr. Thompson. I'm the manager of the hotel. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
Thompson, I'm the manager of the hotel, sir.
Oh my god. I love this movie for this part. Kill me. Here's a guy who has probably worked most of his life to get to where he is. You know, he has to suck up to the people who have money. And suddenly he sees a woman go from zero, a hooker, to the tops instantly. Anyone's instinct is going to be jelly at that moment. But it is what it is. C'est la vie. That's how the world works. But I will say, due to her track record for making poor decisions, it probably won't last. Plus 30, if she hasn't gotten a ring or secured herself financially in some sort of way, her lifestyle is bye-bye.
This is Gwen, congratulating you from Miss Olsen sisters who have made marrying well an art form.
So, you're the flavor of the month.
She's just fantastic. Edward's our most eligible bachelor. Everybody is trying to land him. Well, I'm not trying to land him, I'm just using him for sex.
Do you see how she parried that comment? That's the way the guy should have parried her comment before when she said, you can't afford it.
Phil, listen. She's not a spy. She's a hooker. She's a hooker.
You know, you're the only nigga I ever heard of who goes looking for a foreign investment streetwalker, you know?
I'm sorry I told you. Senator.
No, it doesn't work that way. Bargain basement hooker? That insult wouldn't land. Because she's hot. It doesn't matter if she's bargain basement or not. Her social economic status has nothing to do with it. If she had worked at McDonald's, it still would have been a win. Now, if George Costanza said something like, you had to get a hooker, you couldn't have just found a girl yourself, that jab would have been a little bit more realistic. But I mean, even right after he spoke with the venture capitalist, he went after her. I mean, in his head, he was probably like, damn, I mean, girls look like that on Hollywood Boulevard, maybe I should drive by there sometime.
They really let you borrow this from the jewelry store?
I'm a very good customer.
If you were gonna buy this, how much would it cost?
$250,000.
Hey, come here.
Have you ever heard of the term alpha widow before? Hypothetical. Let's say that this guy ends up nexting on this girl. Can she really go back to hooking for money? Or imagine if the prince from Cinderella decided to move on after getting married and decided, you know what, this isn't going to work out. Do you really think Cinderella could marry a regular dude or go back to house cleaning? No, of course not. I don't know what she would do. In her mind, she's going to think, I attract millionaires. That's my worth. The term alpha widow was coined by a writer called Rollo Tomassi, but I like to think of it as can't go back syndrome. Because after someone buys you the best dresses, $250,000 necklace, private jet flights, exclusive opera seats, reading Shakespeare in the park, she's going to look for that in her next man. And how many men can do that? That aren't married, not too old, not too young, heterosexual, taller than her, not a weirdo, willing to read Shakespeare in the park, and most importantly, willing to take an ex-hooker seriously out of all other options. That number is approaching 0. In summary, if things don't work out with this guy, she's going to stay single for the rest of her life, by her own volition, waiting for the next perfect man to come by.
This is not home. This is a hotel room. And you are not a little woman. You're a hooker. You're a very good hooker.
You made me a really nice offer. And a few months ago, no problem, but now everything is different and you changed that and you can't change back. I want more.
The question is how much more?
I want the fairy tale.
Can't go back now. I want the fairy tale. If I wanted to, I could list my real estate property at $1 million and say, hey, I want the fairy tale too. But is that going to happen? Now, your second thought might be, well, at least she stopped hooking and she has some respect for herself, which having self-respect is a good thing. But if you've lived the life that she has lived and you expect your ending to be like this, well then, I want my fairy tale ending too. Where's all my supermodels that are going to come visit me in my mom's basement while I beat the vault of glass for the millionth time? Where's my ending? Hey, that's not the same thing as a ex-hooker wanting to get with a prince or a billionaire. Yeah, it is. It's just the reversal on the male side, and the probability of it happening is about the same, I would think. The funny part is the movie actually acknowledges this delusion.
Some dreams come true, some don't. So keep on dreaming. Pretty woman.
Keep on dreaming indeed. Anyway, tell me what you thought of my observations in Pretty Woman. Do you see this happening in the wild? Let me know if you have any other movie recommendations or other good specimens to watch. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things. And lastly, remember to keep the dream alive, but tempered with realism.